And I thought about the idea that we do have a celebrity for a president, and it reminded me of this article that I saw, well, really this tweet that I saw recently from an article in which they asked The Rock, or at least Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, whether he would ever run for president. And whenever he gets these questions, he oddly enough, he gives the very, very political answer where he's like, I don't know, yeah, maybe, who knows, we'll see one day. He's actually a natural politician when you think about his whole image. Like, his whole career is based on a specific type of branding that works perfectly for him. He says, I'll read what he said. He goes, "It's wild, man. I'm always honored when people ask that. I love what I do. I love storytelling, but yeah." He's in the middle of promoting the new A24 movie, The Smashing Machine, where he's portraying MMA fighter Mark Kerr and his history with addiction in the early days of the MMA. The movie's getting standing ovations at all sorts of film festivals. That doesn't actually mean anything because there's nothing celebrities at film festivals like to do more than to stand up and jerk each other off. But that doesn't mean the movie's not good. Yeah, granted, I'm not a huge fan of A24 movies, but recently there was a poll in which The Rock, not a poll, it was in Polymarket, where The Rock overtook Kamala in betting odds for 2028, and he would be a better presidential choice, that, let's face it, than Kamala Harris in 2028. And it reminded me a lot of what I've been kind of preaching, is like, you know who I'd like to see them run, and it's not because I necessarily agree with him on a whole ton of stuff, is I'd like to see them run Stephen A. Smith. Because, and I'll tell you why, because he's already trying to work his way back to the independent voters when he goes on Bill Maher and he criticizes how far left the Democrats have gone, not because he's conservative, but because it feels to me like he kind of implicitly knows that the Democrats have lost the ability to win if they can't win back the middle. Right? Now, that doesn't stop the right from screwing it up by making mistakes. That can obviously happen. The whole snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, all that stuff. But I do think that there's this idea of the celebrity president. And this happened in 2023 as well. Put this up here. The Rock was asked to run. This is from 2023, so this was leading up to the 2024 election. The Rock said that he was actually asked by multiple parties if he would be interested in running for president. And obviously, we understand that there is precedent for this, given the fact that we have Trump in office now. You have Kane as governor. Is he mayor? No, I'm sorry. He's mayor of Knoxville, of Knoxville, Tennessee. You've had Ronald Reagan as president, Jesse Ventura in my home state of Minnesota. There is precedent to be set there for political office to be held by celebrities. Do you guys think that we are going, because the big thing I want to ask is this, do you think that we will see more celebrity politicians at the presidential level, and will it come from Democrats or Republicans?
I imagine that there will be more. I think that Donald Trump kind of broke that glass ceiling. As for The Rock...
Wait, well, wouldn't it have been Reagan that technically broke that glass ceiling?
Well, I mean...
In a different way. I get what you mean. It's like in a different way.
So, I mean, it depends on what you mean. So Donald Trump is the first kind of pop culture president, I think. But there is a strong argument to be made that Barack Obama became the pop culture president. He wasn't a celebrity beforehand, but he was doing Slow Jam the News. He was doing all of the things that he could to be a pop culture personality as well as being the president. I mean, maybe someone would say it was Bill Clinton when he went and played saxophone.
I was just
going
to say the saxophone.
I don't think it's Ronald Reagan, because he made the transition from being an actor to being the president. He didn't actually behave like an actor or a pop culture person once he became the president.
And he was the governor too. Yeah.
So he made the transition from acting to politics, and he didn't really mix the two.
He took it seriously, and he didn't try to blur the lines.
Yeah, and with Bill Clinton, I imagine you would say, well, look, he was trying to get elected, but he wasn't going on game shows or anything once he was elected. And so that's a reasonable argument, too. Barack Obama, he wanted to be a pop culture personality. That's why he did things like that's why he went on the TV shows that he did.
I was just saying earlier, I was like, literally, that was my first thought that I ever had about politics when I was like in adulthood was like, why is this guy on so many like? Isn't there stuff to do?
Yeah, he was. He wanted to be that guy. So as much as people will say that Donald Trump was the guy, I do honestly think that it was actually Barack Obama that was the guy that kind of broke that. And then as for whether or not there will be more in the future, yes, of course there will be. And as for if it's The Rock, I think if The Rock is above 250, yes. The Rock below 250, no.
So
He doesn't look. He looks scrawny and weird because you've seen him for so long as a large guy. If he looks too skinny, he's going to look sickly, and I think that people will actually be like, "Ooh, I don't know."
Yeah. I made the comment like last week. I don't remember what we were. I think it was on an episode you were on, Phil, about how it's true. Like you have to be handsome to be the president.
Yeah, we have to be handsome and tall.
But you have to be. A lot of people are. Well, you have to be tall, not necessarily handsome. And people are pointing out like. I don't remember who it was. I was saying we're not going to have a fat. I think I was insulting. I was critiquing J.D. Vance. I said if he wants to run for office, he's going to have to drop about 50 pounds.
I don't know about 50, but he could probably drop 25 and be okay. Yeah. I actually don't think that he's too portly, but I do think that if he dropped about 25 pounds, he'd have a better chance. Yeah.
He doesn't actually look like that meme.
Yeah. People want to vote for someone attractive. Whatever your opinion about
That's why Gavin Newsom is still a threat.
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
Whatever your opinion about Barack Obama, he was a good-looking guy, had a great smile, very charismatic. Yeah. Same thing with when Bill Clinton was running and Bill Clinton was in office. He was extremely charismatic, and you talk to anybody that met him, and they said when he talked to you, he made you feel like there was no one else that existed.
So Ian should run for president, is what you're saying.
Maybe.
Ian.
Ian
has that.
No, he should not.
Crossland.
Yeah, no, he should not.
Ian has that. The first time I ever talked to Ian, I was like, so this is what actual human conversation's supposed to be like.
and that aspect.
I never had a human being pay that close attention. My parents didn't pay that close attention to me when I was younger.
Ian is very good at interacting with people, and I do think that Ian has thought about that in the past. The questions that he asks people, right? He doesn't know anything about someone, and they sit down and he's like, "So what you been getting into?" Right? He's not asking. He doesn't know anything about them. Like he doesn't do any kind of like reading on guests, but he knows how to relate with people, and without sounding like he was like without making stepping on putting his foot in his mouth or whatever. He's really good at that.
The question is like you also have to be like this is only really if you're politically aware. You have to be careful. So like one thing is if they're too good. So I remember when Larry Elder came back to Timcast. And I met him the first time in passing down in the green room, shook his hand. I said, I've been listening to your stuff for a long time. He goes, oh, thank you. Went up, did IRL, whatever. Didn't speak to him the rest of the night, didn't see him after the show. And then and he asked my name, and he's like, oh, nice to meet you. Well, I went up, did the show. And the next time he came back, he remembered my name. I'm like,
that's superpower, man.
I'm like, bro, that's good. That's sus. Like, no way he remembered my name. Like, he had to have somebody briefing him on everybody.
Like first and last name or just first name?
Just first. I mean, I didn't think I didn't say, hi, my name's Brett Nasovic. No, I said, hi, my name's Brett.
But that's a superpower when you're dealing with people.
And I'm horrible with names. That's why I can never be president. Like, I'm like, hey,
they say you got to say it like twice or three times afterwards.
I've tried the twice thing. It doesn't work for me.
Someone was talking about... there was a woman that was talking. I saw just a video that she made about Charlie Kirk, and she was talking about how she started a TP USA thing, and Charlie remembered her like a year afterwards. And, like she met him once, and he was like, "No, of course I remember you. You're blah 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 chapter from this place, and et cetera, et cetera." And
That's
she was
amazing.
like,
"That is
it is amazing. It is. I don't have that ability at all."
Neither do I. So one of the things that came up was in the 2023 poll, they said that 46% of people that they surveyed were supportive of the idea of him running for office. And we're at a point right now where people are like, look, we gotta at least as far as like the Republicans have their base, they have their platform now, and they have people in the party that I still think that they have an issue going forward. I don't think that JD Vance has he's not some shoo-in for 2028. He doesn't have Trump's pedigree. He doesn't have the same type of charisma that Trump has. He has a way of appealing mimetically to people who are really online and really into politics, but that doesn't always necessarily translate to the average everyday person. And the Democrats don't have anybody, as far as I can see, who would be a good shoo-in to run for office. So if I'm both of those parties, actually, let me rephrase that. If I was a Republicans, I wouldn't go towards The Rock. I don't think that would work.
No.
And I saw people in the chat bringing up how he reacted to the Maui wildfires is a black mark on him because of the GoFundMe with Oprah, and everybody thought that he handled it poorly. All of that stuff has come out about the way he behaves on set. That's all mudslinging that's going to happen in politics. Remember the story about how he would pee in bottles on set? I would love to
The
hear.
Rock?
Yeah, like he doesn't want, he's like, because he'd have a gym brought to the set so that he could work out, and he would pee in bottles so that he didn't have to stop, so he could then just keep working out. And I was like, imagine that coming up on the debate stage. I would love that.
You just nod your head like is that common practice?
No, but I mean, someone that's that committed, it doesn't shock me.
Okay.
And the thing is if The Rock wants to run for office and he wants to run for the Democrats, the whole point would be that he has an appeal to normies on both sides. But the problem is the far left is not going to let him be on the right side of any of the 80-20 issues, and it's going to cause him problems within the party.
And if the next president or candidate is going to be a celebrity, I think it'll definitely come from the Dem side. Whereas they have nobody, and they have obsessions, and they love celebrity culture. Like they're into that big time, way more than the right is.
But all the others have been Republicans or independents. So Reagan was a Republican, Trump's a Republican, Kane is a... Sorry, Glenn Jacobs, I'm calling him Kane, his wrestling name, is a Republican.
Yeah.
And Jesse Ventura was an independent, I believe.
Mm-hmm. He was a libertarian, actually.
Oh, was he?
He wasn't particularly libertarian, but no libertarians are ever libertarian enough for other libertarians.
I'm just asking questions.
We might have we as in Republicans, quotation marks, have a real bench, I think, to work from. Yeah. Whereas they have jack shit.
How did one plane destroy 2 towers? I went through like a spree last year of watching old Jesse Ventura interviews, and I'm like, I wish I would have been politically aware when he was in office and when he was really relevant, because he's kind of fallen from grace, because I think he like endorsed Kamala, and everybody said he looked like he was being held at gunpoint when he was doing it. But I was like, man, it would have been awesome to have been like paying attention to politics when Jesse Ventura was in office, because it was hilarious. Because he's also connected to WWE, the way Trump is, the way The Rock is, really what it is the WWE and the way Kane is. So what you're saying is that pretty much all politicians other than Reagan are going to have to come from WWE if they want to be president or some type of politician.
The WWE streamline.
Makes perfect sense. Get him in the Performance Center now, guys. All right.
Look, you have to have good charisma and be able to work with Mike to be a WWE superstar.
Freaking A.
You're gonna have to do that, guys. You're gonna have to get him over to NXT and into the perform. That's what they should do. They should do a skit where they instead of NXT for wrestlers, they have NXT for politicians.
There you go.
I would love that. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.